they strengthen their relationships. Okay, let's go back to this. 1, 2, and 3, they're just with me. I don't think they need much more than that. Just get them outside and spend time with mom. As they get older, 4, 5, there's something that I've done with my kids is find moms who I trust and who share the same values and raise their kids in a similar way that I do. And then we would
Madeline, can you hear
Hello.
me? Can you hear me by chance?
Yeah, hi.
Hi. So I'm in town running errands, and so I'd emailed Mara, I'm listening, but I'm not going to have my camera on so I don't make you crazy. So I'm here, but I'm going to go off. So
Okay, cool. Thanks.
sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds because usually Mark comes on at the beginning, I feel like. Maybe I'll shoot her a text. Hmm.
Hey,
Hi.
all right. So let's do an accountability check-in real quick. We have our competition for contacts going on, and then I will introduce Madeline and let her take it away. Mitch, you want to get us started? How's everything going with you?
Good. Hey, Mara. I had a productive weekend, made a few new contacts, and have one lead that I'm trying to follow. A friend has a coworker that has been starting his house search and doesn't have a realtor yet. So trying to follow up with
Awesome.
that. Monday was a little hectic. I had somebody in the hospital in the ICU, so the last couple days have been A little bit hectic, but as far just still trying to build clients, and I think I have a lead on a shadow for an open house. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I sent out an email. No one responded yet.
No worries. I had asked Allison. Well, Kaylee, I mentioned it to Kaylee at the bowling tournament yesterday, and Allison
Oh,
said she
perfect.
had one not this weekend, but next weekend she thought. So she was gonna
Okay. Awesome. That might be good because I don't know what traffic will be like with a holiday. It might be
Yeah,
good, it might not be.
I kind of thought that too.
Awesome. Emily just put hers in the chat. Chambers, how's everything going for you?
Pretty good. I had an open house last Saturday that went well, a little slower, kind of further out of town, so didn't get too
Yeah, how
many
many
leads,
people did you get
but
through?
only 4, so pretty slow.
That's not too bad for an out of town one. That can be pretty good. And 4 is better than none. That's good.
Yeah.
This is Becky Trowbridge's son or grandson. Lori, is your business going? I know we're working on an open house shadow for you as well.
Yeah, I'm just doing as much CE as I can right now. Just trying to get more.
Oops, you muted yourself.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Just trying to be more involved and active on social media as far as looking at postings, liking things, and just continuing to network with as many people as I can. And I do have one of my regulars that comes to my bar is starting the process of trying to sell her house. Oh, sorry. Just had a minor disaster there. So I'm hoping to just get more in conversation with her. I got her phone number and everything. So that's kind of the first lead that I've got right now. But yeah, just trying to stay hopeful and stay out there as much as possible.
That's great. Good job. Awesome. Well, today we have Madeline Carlton. She started her career with Keller Williams in 2019. She has also worked in construction for 6 years. Madeline has been married for, this says 15 years, but I feel like maybe this is a little bit older and it's closer to 16 years now.
17 almost.
17. See, there we go. We need to update this. And has 3 wonderful kids. She enjoys gardening and taking care of farm animals. They've participated in 4-H, which has been fun to watch. She was also one of our principal broker compliance officers for a while before stepping away and spend more time with her kids and all of their activities. So she's definitely a wealth of knowledge. Does anyone need me to send the material for Define Your Value to them real quick today?
Yes, please.
Okay. Chambers, do you have it?
Yes.
I might need it too.
Okay. I will go ahead and send it to the 4 of you real quick, and that way you can follow along. And yeah, I'll let her take it away. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Mara.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Laura.
See ya. All right, so I think you should all be able to see my screen, correct? The Define Your Value. Yep. Okay, cool. Hi. It's weird to be back on Zoom. I was, like Mara said, I was one of the reviewing principal brokers at Eugene, Springfield, and Southern Oregon. It seems like we're all Eugene, Springfield, Southern Oregon here today, right? I think so. Yeah.
I'm Grants Pass.
Grants Pass, perfect.
Southern Oregon, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be there this weekend. I'm going to Boatnik.
Are you going to Boatnik?
Yeah,
I was thinking about getting out of town for Boatnik because it's hectic.
my daughters play softball.
Oh,
so
nice.
they're playing in the tournament, and this is the one tournament this weekend that they are at the same tournament, like at the same place. So
Oh, nice.
we're making a weekend of it. So
Yeah.
be in your territory soon.
Maybe we'll cross paths.
There you go. So yeah, when I was a principal broker, I did all sorts of teaching on Zoom, but now this just feels a little different. It's like, oh, okay. I gave up that position back in November, like Mara said, to go back into just production and driving my daughters to softball practice every day, all day. So There we go. I will go ahead and get rolling. Today is define your value. So here's a little breakdown of all the different courses you've been doing. It looks like last time was Connect to Your Market. Today we're doing Define Your Value, and tomorrow you guys are going to get more into lead generation and stuff like that. So today's agenda, by the end of the day, we're going to go over all this information, and by the end of the day, you'll be equipped to define the meaning of a value proposition. You'll also be able to explain the benefits of creating a personalized value proposition to kind of show your clients how you're going to help them. And then we're also going to have you equipped to describe what buyers and sellers value most from their real estate experience, right? Because those are the clients that we're trying to serve. So we want to focus on the things that they value the most when getting into a relationship with them and getting them to their real estate goals. Let's see. We'll start today by just going over the value proposition and discussing the benefits of defining your personal value proposition. So the first question is always just, what is a value proposition, right? So knowing the skills and strengths that you bring to the table gives you confidence in running your business. So therefore, it's important to know how to express your value when interacting with your clients and potential clients. So let's talk about more about what your value proposition really is. You can see here, it's a unique, memorable, and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. It addresses the specific and special needs of the buyers and sellers in your market. It states what you'll do for your client to earn your commission, and it holds you accountable to high standards. I think that one is really important because we're all essentially self-employed, right? All of you are in the productivity coaching program, so you've got some accountability there. But as you move out of this program, you got to create that accountability for yourself, whether it's, finding the community or just being able to do it within yourself to keep yourself going. Oops. So this is a quote from the MREA. It says, top agents can easily explain what services they will provide to anyone who hires them. So first thing, having a value proposition benefits your business especially in these 3 ways, but in a number of ways, of course. First of all, it helps your clients understand your value and expertise. So not everyone knows why they should hire an agent for their real estate needs. Sharing your value proposition with your potential client provides them with the opportunity to see how working with you can make their real estate experience better. I think this really rings true. We hear a lot of people thinking they can go out and do this on their own. Oh, I don't need an agent. I'm just gonna, this, that, and the other thing, which can work at times, but really helping your clients understand the value of what you're bringing to the table is super important. Another thing that a value proposition does for us, it protects our commission. So it helps you stand out from the competition and helps your clients understand what exactly they're paying for. It also builds strong and trusting relationships. Your value proposition is your promise to your client. By keeping your word when working for your client, you earn their trust. Clients who trust you are more likely to hire you again, and then, of course, more likely to recommend you to their friends and family when they need to do something in real estate as well. So these are a few examples of value propositions from different large companies. When learning how to define your personal value proposition, sometimes it's helpful to look at examples from other well-known and successful companies. So you can see here, obviously, these are companies that we hear a lot about, right? Airbnb, Walmart, QuickBooks, State Farm, Slack, Grammarly. I don't ever hear about, I think they're like a AI powered writing assistant. That's what they are. Anyways, these value proposition examples are great. Airbnb exists to create a world where anyone can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that is local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable. So that does a really good job of really driving home exactly what Airbnb does. Walmart, everyday low prices for a broad range of goods that are always in stock in convenient geographic locations. That one really spells it out well, right? No matter where you go, there's going to be a Walmart and it's going to have low prices and all the things you need. So these are good examples of value propositions. I should have also said at the beginning, if you end up with like a question or want to pipe up and say something, feel free to unmute and do that. I'm not too, formal about those things. All right. So far at Ignite, we've discussed your value that is enhanced by being part of Keller Williams and what it means to serve as a fiduciary for your clients and the importance of being a market expert. Let's connect what you've learned before in other classes and connect that with your value proposition. So a few questions you might ask yourself just in order to kind of get things rolling in getting your value proposition together. How does being a part of the Keller Williams family bolster your personal value proposition? So an answer to that would be being an agent with Keller Williams means that you have access to command, which allows you to streamline your entire real estate transaction, thus providing a seamless experience for your clients. So another question you might ask, how does your value proposition relate to serving as a fiduciary for your clients? Being a fiduciary for your clients means that you place their best interest above anything else. While serving as a fiduciary, you simultaneously raise your level of service and the value you provide to your clients, which is what exemplifies your value proposition. How does being a market expert add to your value proposition? So when you have your finger on the pulse of the market, the knowledge you glean and share with your clients is part of your value proposition. This is because whatever you learn will help you in guiding your clients to make the best possible decisions. Additionally, outside of these things that are kind of bolstered by your Keller Williams name, also just what other knowledge, attributes, those sorts of things do you have personally that add value to your clients? It could be something like being bilingual, maybe a previous career. We have an agent in Eugene Springfield who was a teacher before she was a realtor, and that makes her favorite thing to do is to work with first-time homebuyers because she's able to teach them throughout the entire process. That's something that kind of bolsters her value proposition in the market. It's something she can use from previously that really helps her in today's market. Myself, I worked in construction for a long time before getting into real estate. I owned my own construction company. So having that knowledge of, having done site work for new builds and things like that is something that I put into my value proposition to kind of show my clients that I've got a little extra knowledge there if that's the direction they want to go in. So yeah, just looking at your own personal self and figuring out exactly what can kind of go into that is important as well. Let's look at some possible ways you can charge up your value proposition with what we've already learned about. So KW and Market Center value. One thing you are able to tell your clients, because you are a part of KW and you have the Market Center at your disposal and the services that they provide, you can say, I have access to the collective knowledge and experience of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide, right? Because we're all connected through Command and Connect. We can refer out to other states and things like that and connect through that way. So there's also lots of like different forums and stuff like that. That's one thing I love about Keller Williams so much is that it feels really, everyone's always really willing to share their knowledge. It's not some place where, we're all shutting our doors so no one knows what we're doing and we're not going to answer any questions and things like that. So you're able to kind of draw from that collective knowledge. So that's really important. You can also tell your clients, I can point you to reputable resources for service providers such as handymen, window washers, tax associates, and financial advisors. In our market center, we are constantly having, CE classes, guests at APM, like all those sorts of things that help you connect with those people so that you can help your clients in turn. So having a nice little list of service providers is super important and really a value to your clients. As far as being a market expert, you can tell your clients, I can help you price your home to sell because I'm very tuned into the market of the moment. Again, there's so many ways with Area Pro to be able to get tuned into the market of the moment. Information that our market center puts out and stuff like that. You're able to stay tuned in and really serve your clients well because you know what's going on in the market. Any questions? Anything? I'm afraid my throat's gonna start getting scratchy. But if there's any questions or just things you want to add, feel free. Okay. We'll move on to the next thing. What matters to buyers and sellers? This is the crux of what being in real estate is about, right? Because if you don't know what matters to your buyers and sellers, you're not gonna be able to give them those things, and you're not gonna be able to get them to their goals, right? So understanding what really, what buyers and sellers want out of their real estate experience. It isn't complex, yet it requires that you know the purpose of real estate. So the purpose of real estate is different for buyers than sellers. In The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Gary Keller explains, for buyers, their goal is to find just the right home at the right price, in the right time, with the least number of problems. Gary also explains that for sellers, their goal is to net the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least number of problems. So it's different for buyers and sellers, but understanding those just basic principles, and then on top of that, understanding what your specific buyers and sellers goals are is super important. What happens to your client's buying or selling experience if you don't understand the purpose of real estate? If you don't understand it, then they may have a poor experience. You may not know how to serve them exactly right. And, chaos ensues. I suppose that's kind of dramatic, probably not chaos. Anyways, as a real estate agent, what are some possible challenges you can anticipate for your clients, and how can you prevent or minimize them? So this is that just looking ahead to the next thing, and why it's really, really valuable that you guys are in this productivity coaching program, right? Because you're all going to have your first real estate transaction here pretty soon, and being able to tap into all the collective knowledge of everyone around you and all the other agents in your office is super important. So oh, I'm going the wrong way. Whoops. There we go. All right. Here are the top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I'll quickly share the services that agents provide for buyers. We will cover these service areas in more detail in the upcoming sessions of Ignite, but these are the top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition. So the needs analysis, figuring out exactly what they want, the timeline they want, the price, all those things. Needs analysis, pre-qualification or pre-approval, helping them get connected with a lender in order to actually be able to buy the house. That's really like early in the process. Neighborhood information, being able to get them information about where they want to be. Of course, searching for the home, and doing all those fun things like showings and all that kind of good stuff. Making the offer, negotiating with the other side so that your buyer can come out on top. Vendor coordination. This is coordinating things like inspections or contractors that need to come by and look at things, or all those sorts of things. Pre-close preparation, getting a buyer ready to take possession of that house. I feel like something I always almost forget to tell them to do is like call the electrical company, call the cable company, call the water, all those different things, so that they are ready and prepared to close and be ready to move into their new house. And then of course, closing and post-closing, right? I set a reminder on my phone to check in with my clients a few times, maybe, a few days after, a week after, a month after, and just be able to keep in touch and make sure that things are going smoothly for them. Top 10 service areas of the seller. Again, needs analysis. What's their timeline? Where are they going? What are they wanting to do? How much money are they trying to get for their house? All those sorts of things. Pricing strategy, figuring out, doing that CMA and figuring out what their house is really worth. Property preparation, helping them look around themselves, because so many times we live in our houses, right? And we maybe don't see all the same things that other people see when they come in. So helping them prepare the property and understand what needs to be done to get it on the market and put it in the best possible light for the buyers. Your marketing strategy, whether that's, sending out mail postcards, open houses, door knocking around the neighborhood, all those sorts of things. What are you helping them understand your marketing strategy so that you are able to get them in front of as many people as possible? Receiving the offer. So hopefully you list a property and then right away you're receiving that offer, right? Or hopefully multiple offers if it's a great priced house in a great area. Negotiating to sell, looking at the other side and getting everybody under contract. Then of course, going through the process of selling, pre-close preparation, again, getting your name off of things instead of back on and things like that. Closing and then post-closing. Again, I always like to check in a little bit after closing so that to make sure that things are going really well. This is NAR data. This is data from the National Association of Realtors on what matters most to buyers and sellers when they hire an agent. So this graph covers the top responses and categories. Everything else is other. So this top one, 52%, this is for buyers. Buyers said that 52% of them said the most important thing to them is just helping them find the right home, helping them with that home search. 13% help the buyer negotiate the terms of the sale. That's 13% of people said that's the most important thing to them. 11% said that helping with price negotiations, excuse me, is the most important for them. And then 24% said other. Other are things like help with paperwork, determine what comparable homes are selling for, help determining how much the home buyer can afford, help find and arrange financing, all those sorts of things. That's what falls into the other category. All right, next graph, again, NAR data here. Keep in mind, these are results from buyers being asked to state the one thing that is most important to them. Most buyers need help with paperwork or learning about their neighborhood, yet when asked to give the one answer, this is what they said. So this is the top answer. As you're looking at this, think about the skills or services you offer that can align with what buyers want. So the top 20% here said they want an agent that is trustworthy. The 19% said they want an agent who's experienced. And then 17% said the reputation of an agent is really important to them. The other area is 44%. This is things that when they said when choosing an agent are important to them. These are things like that the agent is a friend or a family member, agent's knowledge of the neighborhood, agent has a caring personality and is a good listener, agent is timely with responses, those sorts of things. That's what's in that other 44%. If you resonate with any of these factors, consider including them in your value proposition. So we've got it right here in front of us that this is the top things that people care about in their agent. So being able to highlight those top things is a really good idea to put them into your value proposition. All right. I keep going the wrong way. Okay, there we go. What sellers want most from their agents. So this is looking at the other side. If you're out looking for listings, this again is the top thing for sellers that they have chosen. So we've got here 21% help price the home competitively. They want an agent to help them tell them how much they should sell their house for. Let's see, 20% help seller market home to potential buyers. So their top on their list is that they want you to be able to really market it well and get it sold. 16% said that it is most important to them that their agent is able to help them sell within a specific time frame. And then 16% said that the most important thing to them is for their agent to help them find ways to fix up the home and sell it for more. So that goes back to being that market expert, right? And knowing what's flying off the market, what kind of things are really important to buyers. For what sellers consider when choosing an agent. So 32% said that the reputation of the agent is the most important thing to them. Oh, sorry, I froze for a second. I got scared that my internet went out. 19% said that the most important thing for them is that their agent is honest and trustworthy. 17% said that the agent is a friend or a family member. They're going to want someone they know to help them through this. That's really important for you guys. Just getting started in your real estate career, the most people you're around the most and the people that you're going to be talking to the most are your friends and family. So being able to help them through that is super important. The 44% here that says other, those are things like agent's knowledge of the neighborhood, agent having a caring personality and being a good listener. Only 4% of that 44% there said that the agent's commission is the most important thing to them. Agent's association with a particular firm also is an important thing to them as well. All right, so looking at the top response there for what sellers consider when choosing an agent, it's the reputation of an agent. So if you're a new agent, you may wonder if you'll be at a disadvantage because you're still just in the early stages of building a reputation. However, I would encourage you to lean on the reputation of Keller Williams. For example, you can tell potential clients, KW has the strongest reputation in our market for helping people with their real estate needs in the fastest time frame and the least number of problems. So being able to kind of just lean on the fact that you are a Keller Williams agent, we've got a really big name behind your company, is really cool in being able to do. Okay. Being a Keller Williams agent means that the essentials you need to start building your brand and nurturing relationships are available to you as a Keller Williams agent. Here are just a few of the features that Command provides for you with your clients. Command has smart plans. So smart plans are a way for you to kind of track your activities, track your marketing and things like that, to be able to build deeper and more meaningful connections. So if you're ever able to get in your Command and kind of look around at the smart plans area, it's really cool. It's a lot of different plans that also other agents have made that you can look through, and there's like nurture plans, contact plans, all sorts of things. And it essentially just kind of reminds you to do things. It's like, today make your calls, call this person, text this person on this day, send them this, that sort of thing, so that you can stay in contact with your clients or your potential clients. Also the KW app, it's an end-to-end consumer app. It uses AI and machine learning and your expertise to communicate, provide transaction transparency, and remind clients of your value whenever they've closed on a home. You've also got your agent sites through Command, where it allows contacts to save searches for homes and allows agents to create searches on behalf of contacts. So that's a really great way. I have lots of clients who I've got them on email reminders and they've been on email reminders for like 2 years. And I actually just closed one of those last month, and I didn't really hear a whole lot, but she loved getting her email reminders every day. And then we finally found her a home. So, those are some of the things that you have. Emily, I could see your comment, and I don't know which part.
You were talking about when you're a new agent and what you can tell them about Keller Williams, like they're
Oh, right.
the top, whatever. I was trying to like
Yeah,
write it
you
down
bet.
as you were saying it.
You bet. You bet. In the thing here, it says KW has the strongest reputation in our market for helping people with their real estate needs in the fastest time frame and with the least number of problems. So just kind of leaning back on that idea of what Gary said in the beginning, which was
So
that
fastest time frame and the least fastest time frame with the least amount of problems.
Mhm.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Cool. All right. Are there any other questions or anything anybody wants to pipe up and say? We're rolling through this stuff, guys. We're like over halfway done. Okay. So now that we've learned the basics of the value proposition, we're going to talk about how to define your own value proposition. So there are 3 steps in being able to define your value proposition. First is to identify knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. Again, these are things that are individual to you that you think you'd be able to really give a high level of service to your clients with. Number 2, transform the value you provide and the value of KW in your market center into benefits for your clients. And then we'll be building your value proposition statement. We'll go into further detail over the next 3 slides. You'll also get the opportunity to start defining your value proposition as we go through each step. So feel free to take notes, kind of write down all your own ideas around what your specific value proposition is. So the first thing is to identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. For your value proposition to resonate in a meaningful way with your clients, it has to be aligned with who you are and your actual abilities, right? So we're not, trying to cater to exactly what clients want and giving them what they want to hear. We're giving them what truly is part of our value, right? What knowledge do you bring to this job? That's the first thing you kind of want to think of. Like we talked about before, were you a teacher before? Are you an accountant? Like me, did you work in construction and you have some knowledge there? What specific knowledge do you bring? And it doesn't even have to be like previous work experience either, right? Like a lot of us, I know when I first started back up working, I had been a stay-at-home mom for like 7 years at the time when I started working again. So it doesn't always have to be, some previous work experience or something like that. It's even just, your natural attitude towards life, maybe, or something like that would be something that would really help your clients. And in that way, like looking at the different attitudes you bring, right? Do you find yourself to be a really caring and nurturing type person? Do you find yourself to be a really high level organized type person that is, not going to let anything slip by at any time and you're always going to have everything just exactly the way it's supposed to be? Those are attitudes and those are attributes that can really help you in real estate. What skills do you offer? Maybe you're really good with computers. And you're able to help people learn to use tech, or maybe you're really great at problem solving and, you can get people through those little hairy parts of the transaction. And then additionally, what kind of core beliefs do you have, right? Equity, integrity, honesty, those sorts of things. What are really core to your personality that can also translate into value for your clients? Okay. So next, you would want to transform the value you provide and the value of KW in your market center into benefits for your clients. Your value proposition statement expresses the value you provide in language that makes it relevant to your clients. So think through your knowledge, attitude, skills, beliefs, all those things we just talked about, and how it can be beneficial to your clients. Many of your life experiences can be relevant to real estate. Even if you don't see it, look at it from another angle. Even if you haven't articulated it to yourself, you may have already used those experiences to help others. Maybe you were a little league coach, maybe you were a teacher, something like that. You can still use those experiences and translate them into value for your clients. Now think through the value you receive from KW and your market center and how that can be beneficial to your clients. Let's say that your market center averages 98.9% of listing price. When meeting with a potential client, you could share that statistic with them. However, it does not convey the full scope of the value to your clients. Instead, you can say, you get the best sales price for your home due to my thorough training in negotiation, which is exactly what you're getting here in this program, right? Okay. Step 3, build your value proposition statement. So the strongest value proposition for your client combines the value you offer backed by the value that is provided to you by Keller Williams and your market center. Remember, it's not about perfection. Your value proposition will also most likely change as you learn new skills and all that sort of stuff. So it doesn't have to be a perfect value proposition right now. It doesn't have to be the one that you have for the next 20 years, right? It's figuring out what right now is going to be of value to your clients and kind of articulating that into a nice little pitch that you're able to communicate to your clients and show them that you're going to be the best person to probably help them. We're all on Zoom, so we're not going to role play necessarily. But let's see, is that the end of it? We did it, guys. We went through it really fast in just 40 minutes. I would encourage you for the rest of your time, like just kind of sit in this and figure out exactly what your value proposition is, get something written out so that you can really understand. And again, hold yourself accountable to that. I think that we all bring something different. If you can take anything away from this right now, it's that you're going to create your value proposition and each one of you is going to have a different one. Everybody offers something different. And in this industry, it can be easy to think there's so many agents out there, you know, kind of have this attitude of scarcity rather than an attitude of abundance. I think it's incredible. Every time, especially when I worked as principal broker, I saw all the different transactions that came through, right? And I saw all the different agents who were doing business. And it was always incredible to me how just how many of us there are and how many of us are doing so much business. It doesn't take a ton of transactions a year to have a really robust and amazing career and make good money. And everyone brings something different to the table and every client needs something different. So I would just encourage you to, as you're looking through your value proposition, really hone in on like what makes you unique and what value you can provide to your clients that only you can provide, because we really are all one of a kind. And there's so many of us in this industry, yet so many clients as well, so many houses to be sold. And we're going to fit differently for everyone, right? And I just want to encourage you to remember that there's plenty for everyone out there. We're all in competition with each other, right? But that's not really true because there's a lot of business to be had and you guys are going to do great.
Quick question.
Yeah, absolutely.
There any kind of statistic yearly, like how many people are retiring as agents versus coming on? Do you know that at all?
Not that I know of. Like not off the top of my head. I'm sure it's
Okay.
out there. what I would encourage, I'm trying to think of where to get that kind of information.
I was just curious, like when you talk about how many agents there are out there, is there any kind of tracking to how many join the industry versus how many leave, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think agents tend to work, what I've found at least, is that if you're a real successful agent, it's not super easy to retire. I know lots of agents in like our office. I was talking to one of our agents who's been in the business for a long time, and she's like, I keep trying to retire, but people keep calling me. But I think one thing to think of is that there's a lot of agents in our industry, and there's a lot less that actually do a lot of business, right? So what I would encourage you to understand in beginning your real estate career is that it's a marathon, not a race, right? Like, stick with it, because I think a lot of agents do fall off. They go through their first few months and go like, oh man, I feel like I haven't really made any progress, or this, that, or the other thing, but it's a marathon, not a race. So, don't be one of the agents that drop off. That's my advice to you. I don't have good statistics on it. Just don't let it be you. That's my advice.
That's a good analogy too, the marathon versus the race.
Yeah, it really is. And it's funny because I'm entering into my 7th year. Oh, I have to renew. I got to do CE after this. But I'm heading into my 7th year in real estate, and this has been my busiest spring ever. So, and there's been years when I've only sold, like maybe 3 houses or 2 houses in an entire year. But staying in it long term, this year, I think, is probably going to be my best year in real estate ever. Of course, it's just going to keep getting better and better. So just remember those things. Even if it starts kind of slow, keep your real estate license, keep plugging away, and keep up with it. Are there any other questions at all? We busted through this fast. 45 minutes, folks. I don't mess around. Don't forget to do all your lead gen and stuff like that. Make your contacts. It sounds like there's a competition. I don't know anything about that, but it sounds fun. Go win it. And yeah, I'm all out of material. Keep up the good work. Stick with it. You're in the best place you can be. And I started my career in Keller Williams. I will finish it at Keller Williams. So it's a good place to be. All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a great day.